Hey guys, it's Roland here, your tutor. Welcome to another video. In this video, we will be solving linear inequalities. So in the previous set of videos in this playlist, we've been managing equations and how to solve them. In this one, we'll be looking at the less than sign and the greater than sign and the movement of our variables across from the left-hand side and to the right and back and forth, and what happens to our positives and negatives, and once again also how the less than and greater than signs change. So with that said, let's just discuss exactly what a linear inequality is. So a linear inequality is similar to an equation. However, you are not dealing with equal signs. You're dealing with, as mentioned before, your less than and your greater than signs. So one important factor, and I'll mention it later on in the video, is that when you divide or multiply by a negative number, the sign changes. So your greater than sign will change to a less than sign and vice versa. So linear inequality is similar to a linear equation. The largest exponent is 1. Linear means that if, for instance, you have the equation y is equal to mx plus c, we know that that is our straight line equation. It's also known as the linear equation. However, if you had mx squared plus bx plus c, that would all of a sudden become quadratic because of the squared sign. You then can get examples where you'll have mx cubed plus bx squared and ax, so it's to the power of 1 and then a value of c. In this case, you'd be calling that a cubic, but as I mentioned, we will be dealing with linear inequalities. So I've written over here, we've got 2 minus x and 3x plus 1. As you can see, I've done it so in red so you can see clearly. Every single variable and every single constant value has a power of 1. So even below here, we've got 4 over 3 times x. Each term has a power of 1. There's no squareds, there's no cubes. And so we continue with minus 6, less than 7x, and plus 2. So the same methods are applied. However, as I mentioned earlier, the only difference occurs when there is a negative sign. So when you're dividing by a negative or multiplying by a negative, your less than sign or your greater than sign will change. So it will change to the opposite side. As you see here, we've got a less than sign, which means if we were to multiply both sides by a negative number, the less than would change into a greater than. And an example will follow very shortly. So just make sure that it's always the minus sign. It's only when you divide or multiply by a minus sign. I'm stressing that point, making it very important for you to understand that. If you understand that, inequalities will be a breeze. If you don't, unfortunately, you might get them right sometimes and you might get them wrong other times. So let's look at this sort of example. You've got 8 is greater than 6. We both know this. So if both sides are divided by a negative 1, you can clearly see that you'll get a negative 8, and that's going to be greater than negative 6. So if we go to divide by negative 2 in this case, we will say 8 divided by negative 2, that gives us a negative 4. And we then say negative 4 is greater than 6 divided by negative 2, which is negative 3. Sure as hell, minus 4 is not greater than minus 3. So what do you need to do? Oh, that's right, you need to change the sign around. Easy game. I mean, it's not something that you really need to stress about. Just make sure to remember that though. So as we can see here, minus 4 is not greater than minus 3, so we must change the signs. So the inequality now is invalid. Only until you change that greater than sign to a less than sign, it will become valid. These are the kind of questions that might well be asked in a test. What makes this particular inequality invalid? Well, the fact that the greater sign is there and the less than sign is not present, this makes the inequality incorrect and invalid. So minus 4, we've changed it over. We've got minus 4 is less than minus 3, and we know that because minus 4 is less than, in general, minus 3. Starting at 0, moving left, first you hit minus 1, then minus 2, then minus 3, and then eventually minus 4. So minus 4 is always less than minus 3. Please watch this video again if I went too quickly. Otherwise, pause where you need to. Just make sure that this concept goes into your head. If you want to check out the notes, you can check out the notes. The notes are all online at thinkbrainwave.com, as well as there's more videos similar to this, doing more examples and problems that you can expect in an exam. So just to finish off, we'd like to compare an inequality. So we can do so with an equation, However, when we divide by a negative sign, just to reiterate, you need to change your less than or greater than sign. Easy game.